Here, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and again, trying to post these things live up on podcast. I've been having some issues on that, but I can get that going here soon. But wanted to go ahead and do a video tip here on the last day of the month, and I know it's probably not good timing. Everybody's busy doing their thing, but I am on Facebook Live if anybody wants to comment during this. So we had a talk with a dealer the other day. Actually, it was just yesterday. A dealer was concerned about a lot of his cars getting high conversion percentages and just not converting to sales. And he was wondering what's going on. And one, it was just kind of a generic comment. So we weren't, it was an email. And so we're communicating back and forth, trying to get a deeper understanding of what do you mean it's getting a lot of activity or conversion, but not selling. Because here's the thing. I mean, there's certain steps that you probably want to take if a car is not selling, but it seems like it's performing well. And what I mean by that is like, if you take a look at your SRPs and VDP conversion percentage and stuff. So SRP would be your search results. And this would be on sites like AutoTrader, Cars.com, Car Gurus, how many times it's showing up on the search versus VDPs, people actually clicking on the car from the search. So one, if the car is showing up a lot in searches, but no one's clicking on it, it could be priced too high, bad thumbnail, maybe bad reviews for your dealership or something. But if it is converting a lot and you have a high percentage, either a high number of clicks or high conversion percentage, and the car is still sitting around, this dealer had like a 50-day-old car. It had like a 14% conversion on one side, a 6% conversion on the other side, and wondering why this thing wasn't selling. So first step would be, because I didn't know, well, are those conversions turning into leads? But before I do that, let's go see how the photos look, right? So if this car is in a listing, in a search result, customers are clicking on it, I need to know if we're not getting any leads, or even if it is getting leads or not, is what's the photos? What's causing all these people to click on it, but not really generating much activity? So a lot of times it could be, it's a F-150 XLT and it has a split bench seat and everybody wants captain's chair. So they don't know that till they click on the car. They notice that it's a 40-20-40 or split bench seat, and then they get off of it. Or it's a stick and they didn't realize and they get off of it. Or there's bad photos in there. Check engine lights on. Or the temperature gauge is showing that you guys had the car for 3 months. Or in this particular case, this car, it was funny. The person doing photos had a cell phone doing photos, and whatever was on their case, it looked like a bunch of lightning lightning strikes or something. But they're taking pictures, and you could see all these. And the reflection of the backup camera, reflection of the nav system and the radio, you could see all these like weird lines. To me, it almost looked like that screen was distorted. I mean, I could tell it was somebody's phone because we look at this enough, but would a consumer think there's something wrong with the screen? Because every photo showed that reflection of that guy's cell phone. That wasn't the only problem. The rear back seat, the back of the seat was a plastic. It was some kind of BMW. And, there's obviously either a kid or something back there to scratch the heck out of that. Well, that was kind of part of the picture. And remind you, this is almost a $50,000 car. And then the very last photo, the back hatch actually had a bunch of just either paint chips or maybe looked like maybe somebody scratched off a sticker and there was some paint, either sticker residue, or it looked like there was, which could easily be touched up by, paint dentless guy. So either I'm sure they fixed it, but the pictures were taken prior to that. So to me, the combination of the reflection of the phone in the screen, the scuff on the back of the seat, the scuffs on the back of the hatch, plus actually when you lifted up the hatch, there's a picture showing the close button, the button to close the hatch. There's a good chunk taken out of that. To me, that would be the first thing I fix, because maybe people are jumping on this 50 grand BMW, seeing those type of things. I would fix that first. Then your next step, obviously, too, is to see if you've gotten leads on it, because maybe I'm converting good, the photos are good, and we're getting a lot of leads, but we're not selling the car. Well, then obviously we need to go through our lead process. Go look at the leads that we're getting, see what our communication is. Is it very generic? Are we sending videos? Are we getting people excited about that car? Or are we just, hey, yeah, the car's in stock. When would you like to be here? Type of emails. So the steps would be, obviously, if it's converting, do I get a lot? Am I getting leads? And if it doesn't seem like a lot of leads or not, your default should always go back to, even if it's a lot of leads, your default should go back to the photos. I would always go check, okay, what's my listing look like? Do I have bad pictures? Is it turning people off once they click on the car? Because a lot of people might overlook some of those issues. One example would be, I bought multiple trucks over the years, and anytime I seen a scuffed up bed, I kind of got off the truck, because if the bed looked beat up, I know that person maybe used and abused the truck. No matter how clean you get the inside and the engine compartment and everything else, that truck bed's jacked up. So I always put on there, I always say, put a freaking $300 bed liner in there, just pop one in before you take pictures, because I wouldn't know any different. But I kept getting off. I'd click on a truck that looked nice, price good. I click. Next thing you know, it's got a bunch of scuffs in the trunk. But I might submit a lead on that and say, hey, just curious, how was this truck used? I might submit a lead just to feel the dealer out before I made the trip. So even though the photos might be questionable, people might be sending in leads to get those questions answered, like the truck bed and bed liner, can we get a spray in, or so forth. So always check your photos first. If it's converting well, you're not getting leads, or you are getting leads, I would always confirm if the photos are good. Make sure there's no bad things that could throw people off. This time of year, two things I would check in your photos. Does it have trees in the background with leaves, full foliage leaves, even though leaves have probably been gone the last month? We were just on a call today, guy, temperature gauge, that when you take a shot of your gauges and or your radio, and it shows the temperature and it says 80 degrees out, even though you don't have trees maybe in the back of the photo because you're doing it by the building, but your dash shot says it's 80 degrees and it hasn't been 80 degrees for 2 months. Fix little things like that. Fix anything that makes the car look bad. It's kind of tough, when I talked about the scuffs on the back of the driver's seat, that's kind of tough to do anything about, unless you want to replace that whole panel. I wouldn't do that yet. I would not make sure I don't take a picture of that, and I would overcome that if that's an issue when the customer comes in. If it's an issue and they won't buy it, or you won't discount it for that price, or maybe you can replace that panel for $100 versus dropping the price 500. I just wouldn't picture it. So, and then deal with it when the customer gets there. Now, if you're a full disclosure store, go ahead and disclose it. But I just take a different angle of it and overcome that objection when the customer gets there. But just make sure those things aren't there. That was my first go-to, is, hey, redo these pictures first. Second, if you're getting the leads but not selling the car, go see what's going on with the leads. Again, customers might be complaining about certain features, those issues, and we're not addressing that. Or maybe we're just not calling an email, and maybe we're not getting excited about some videos. Get that thing. If you're getting leads, obviously it's not price, and it might not be the photos, but it might be some questionable photos. They might be questioning. So do those steps before you just go keep dropping prices on cars, just and see if you can spike some activity that way. Okay, so that's what I would do. Just some information, Lotpop University. We have a class coming up here in December 14th and 15th. It's not too late to sign up. I think we've got about 10 or 12 people attending. December 14th and 15th. If you go to lotpopu.com or lotpopuniversity.com, all the information is there. It's free for clients and non-clients. Even as a non-client, we're going to go over key metrics that you could be tracking yourself. It's a day and a half. It's a Tuesday, Wednesday, so you can go to the dealership on Monday after the weekend, get caught up, fly out Monday night, and be here Tuesday morning. And then Tuesday we have a nice lunch, Joe's Barbecue, and then we wrap up by noon-ish on Wednesday and fly back. So free to clients or not, sign up at Lotpop U. It's right here in our office in the brand new training facility. If you want a free inventory evaluation, lotpop.com. I hope this tip was helpful.